I know it's still quite a while till we get the biggest LEGO Lord of the Rings set ever, which is very likely gonna be Minas Tirith, but we still have absolutely no information about a possible GWP. In this video I'm gonna show you my top guesses for what I think a possible gift with purchase could look like, at least if there will be one, but this is of course pure speculation and nothing official since we don't even know whether or not Minas Tirith is gonna come with one. Throughout this video I'm gonna use a bunch of mocks and custom minifigs from very talented LEGO Lord of the Rings fans and customizers. Since there aren't many set images that would really fit this type of video, you can of course find the links to each and every one of those people in the comments down below. This is obviously not sponsored, but I do want to give them credit for their incredible work, so please go check them out. If you have some ideas for what a possible gift with purchase could look like, feel free to tell me in the comments down below. Now if you enjoy this type of content, go hit the subscribe button, and now let's get straight into the video. As I already mentioned in most of my videos regarding the upcoming Minas Tirith set, I am hoping for a GWP that is gonna include the Witch King in some way or form, since it doesn't seem like we're gonna get him in the actual set. While there is the possibility of him getting a future helmet set, I still think there's a chance of LEGO including him in a GWP first. I could only really imagine 3 scenarios where we could get him in a gift with purchase, and this would either be a Felbeast with the Witch King, which I highly doubt since it would be way too similar to the already existing Felbeast set, or the more likely variant of him being in a small diorama set where he fights either Eowyn or Gandalf. This would be pretty similar to the design of the Smeagol and Deagol set, just a small scene with 2 or 3 minifigs, so not that unrealistic in my opinion. You could very easily build a small portion of the White City itself, with Gandalf and Pippin on a horse versus the Witch King on his Felbeast, but the main problem would be the size, since a Felbeast plus a small section of the city would likely take up way too many parts for a small add-on on top of your purchase. They would likely have to downscale the Felbeast quite significantly or ditch the part of Minas Tirith, which wouldn't really work. I think it's way more likely that they build a small section of the battlefield just with Eowyn and the Witch King herself, since it could take place after the Felbeast is already dead, so there would be no need to include it again. This would honestly be one of my favorite options, but I could also see LEGO saving these minifigs for some future helmet sets or even saving Eowyn for an Edoras/Medusel set. The next idea that came to my mind, which is pretty fitting with the actual set, a Grant. They could just build a very downscaled version similar to this mock from Maggie and Paul, and if they were to include a bunch of orcs, this would be a very cool addition, as you could even display it with the original set. I would really like a Grant, even if it would be severely downscaled, since I don't see us ever getting a Grant as a standalone set anyway, so it would be a pretty neat and very fitting GWP. There's also the opportunity for LEGO to do a small micro battle set with a bunch of add-ons to portray a more in-battle look of Minas Tirith. They could include a bunch of micro models of small siege towers, trolls, oliphants, and even the riders of the Rohirrim. While I would prefer a GWP with some actual minifigs, this would still be a pretty neat idea to sort of upgrade the display, but I guess that a lot of people, or pretty much most of them, would be rather disappointed about this, so I don't think that this is the most realistic scenario, since LEGO likely wants to avoid any negativity regarding such a big and heavy release. I'd also love to see LEGO include more Gondor soldiers in a possible gift with purchase, and I think there are quite a couple of not too far-fetched ways they could pull it off. My first idea is just a small battle pack type set with a bunch of soldiers and horses, similar to the Clone Cadet or Droid Transporter set from the Star Wars theme, but what I think would be even cooler is the beacon scene where Pippin lights the first fire to call for the help of Rohan. In such a set you could easily include 2 more Gondor soldiers and build one of the most important scenes in the whole movie that doesn't need too many pieces. I'd love to see this happening as a gift with purchase. It would look awesome on display, and I also think it's a fairly realistic one. Another option would also be to include some Citadel guards with a small build of the White Tree of Gondor and the Fountain. This would be an absolutely amazing set with a bunch of very desirable minifigs that would fit the main set very well, and it's also a very easy to do build as a GWP that wouldn't need all too many pieces. I think that this is actually a quite realistic call, and if done right the set could look absolutely amazing and pull a few buyers in that weren't so sure before. By the way, this custom minifig of the Citadel guard is from Martin LEGO Design, whose customs appeared quite a couple of times throughout this video. If you like Lord of the Rings, please go check him out. I'm always blown away by his amazing custom minifigs and in general his content. But now continuing with my guesses, another option would also be a small section of the ruins of Osgiliath, but I think this is not really something that LEGO could pull off, and it also does not really fit Minas Tirith that well compared to the other options. That being said, the Smeagol and Deagol set was also not the most obvious choice for the Shire, and also pretty morbid, so they could basically do anything at this point. There's also the option for LEGO to base it off the ride of the Rohirrim with Eowyn and Merry, as well as a small section of the land, but if I'm honest I'd rather want LEGO to do a battle pack plus playset for the scene, so we're actually able to army build as Rohan soldiers, and overall I don't think that this fits the gift with purchase type set dynamic. But speaking of playsets, LEGO please bring back some Lord of the Rings playsets in the near future. There is so much potential for battle packs, smaller display and smaller playsets that people would buy like crazy, so please do more with this license in 2027 and forward. It seems to sell pretty well, so why not make more of it? I just don't get it. But now please let me know in the comments down below what you think the GWP is gonna be, if we're actually gonna get one, and which idea you'd like to see the most. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would very much appreciate like to support the channel. If you don't want to miss any future videos, please hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see some of my other videos, they will appear on the end screen right now.